Hey everyone, well I guess it's pretty obvious about what I'm going to be working on in this video. Getting right to it, and what I'm working on is I'm changing the batteries in my 7120 Magnum here. And as you can see, yes, I have a major mess going on here. These buggers over the winter discharged and puked all the acid out of themselves. Now these are older batteries, they're getting at the end of their rope. These batteries are pretty much a decade old already, I think they're over 10 years old, so they've more than done their service. But like I said, over the winter here they've gone and sulfated and gave up the ghost. One of my hold down rods here is literally corroded off. I was in here a few years back and I made a couple of rods actually out of a spring tooth from a rake. One of my broken hay rake tooth. It had the right hook on the end that goes in the bottom of the battery box, and I just welded a small 1/4-inch bolt on the end of it and copied the original factory one for length. So, but anyways, I don't know if I'm gonna get everything in get this all apart here this evening. I got a lot of cleaning ahead of me here to get this all. First of all, get terminals cleaned up a bit so I can actually get in here and get this apart and well, work at this. So yeah, I got lots of work ahead of me here to get this cleaned up here. So it'll probably be another day here. I'll just edit this all into one video. But anyways, I got a brand new set of batteries to put in here, so gonna get on with it and just get at it. Well, I'm back here another day working at this tractor once again. Got it cleaned up the other evening. Got this battery box cleaned out the best I can. There's a lot of corrosion in there. I'll get a few more years out of this box and then it's probably gonna eat through like they all do. Well, I'm not going to bother trying to clean it all up and repaint it, because I've done that before. Repainting, that's just on the surface. That doesn't do anything for battery soaked metal that's corroded and eating through. So all I'm going to do, and what I've done many times over, and it lasts for a couple of years between servicing, is I just take some automatic transmission oil or ATF and literally brush it on the bottom of these metal battery boxes in these tractors. And the ATF works as a pretty good anti-corrosive. You know, yes, it pulls dust and dirt into the box and it's whatchamacallit, but with all the rust and scale you can see here on the ground, there's literally, I was in here with a chipping hammer, with a welding hammer, and cleaning all the rust out of the box. So this box is half eaten through. So, but anyways, what I'm getting onto here today is changing a battery terminal end here. These are a crimp on or solder on, and I don't have the tool for crimping, so I'm going to solder it on. I've already fit this on here already. This is, you can see here, the cable, pretty good size. This is actually a 3/0 cable. I was pretty sure it was that size. Wasn't 100% positive, but when I went to my local there's a repair shop in the next few towns over there that does automotive electrical, you know, alternator, starter rebuild, sells batteries and all these parts, cable ends, and they sell new bulk cable, and they can crimp for you. But to get the cables off of this tractor, I literally would have to take the two side panels out. There's a terminal stud where the two battery cables run up to, and then they go across, they come up to, the two cables come up to actually a terminal boosting stud here, and they run back across over to your starter on the other side. So to get this all apart is quite the job. So I could have just taken the cables, like I say, take them all off, take them in, get them to crimp new ends on them for me. This is what they originally had on here. You can see this one, the edges are corroded pretty bad, but the main lug and which one wasn't corroded into the wiring. They've got this actually from the this is a factory end, and they do have it soldered from the factory there. I can see there's overflash of solder here. So they do actually partially crimp and solder the end on. So I'm just gonna solder this one on. I got some these here, 3/0 by 3/8 battery terminal and copper ends for the lug post type batteries. Like what I took out of here, these crusty old batteries here. These got the stud tops on them, and this is what I'm going to keep it the same. So I'm going to go ahead and solder this end on. I've gone ahead and already fitted this on here. I'm not going to take it off to show you. I'll set the camera up here and hopefully I can show me soldering it. I went ahead and gooped up the end of the cable with some flux and smeared some flux around the inside of the that lug end. Now, what I use is just this stuff here. It's called nitro flux. Don't know. Got it at a local hardware supply store. So, anyways, some small solder wire. So we're going to go ahead and get this fixed up and get the batteries in here, and then start getting this all back together here and cleaned up. I got pretty much everything cleaned up now, so I'll just go ahead and start getting this back together now and get on with other maintenance stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and use a propane torch here on this. I'll apply the heat to the copper terminal itself. Get this hot. Yes, I'm probably going to melt a little bit of the plastic or the rubber coating on that cable, but that flux is starting to bubble, so it should be pretty much there. Time to get my solder in here so it can copper will start to change color when you get it to that right temperature. There we go, it's boiling. Now getting my solder on the outside of the thing, doing this. Wow. I really am burning my cable, hitting it with the torch. I want it to get drawn in. As much as possible. Melt a whole bunch in there, and the flux, like I say, it's doing its job. It's pulling it in. And fill that. Yes, my whatchamacallit end is my rubber cable end is getting beat, but I'll trim it back and I'll put a little bit of heat shrink tubing over it. Now, could I have done a better job of it? Yes, of course. There's always better ways of doing anything, right? But yeah, I kind of buggered up my the end of it, but it's just the end of it. I want a good getting a good terminal is more important to me than just trying to make it look super fancy. I'm going to go ahead and clean and trim up that that end there. Yes, like I say, I scorched it and burnt it, but I'll let it cool off a little bit here. Actually, I got some water in a container here. There we go. Oh, I shouldn't do that either. I shouldn't put water on because I'm tempering the copper and it won't be right. Somebody will have a comment about that, I'm sure. Okay, here we go. No, I didn't have heat shrink tubing for this right size. What I had was 3/8 is too small. This is with the casing and trying to get it over the lug here. Bare minimum is 1/2 inch in size, if not 5/8 here. So I'll just get some 3/4 inch heat shrink tubing, and then whenever I need it for doing cable ends, I'll have it. And yes, I actually had some red electrical tape, so it'll have to do for now. And besides, the corrosion always gets underneath it, even if you put heat shrinking on it. Battery acid works its way up the copper cable, and you always have to end up cutting the casing back and you know, cleaning it all up. And what did I use to clean it? Well, I used good old baking soda and white vinegar. That's it. Like a kid, you know, cleaning copper pennies. So anyways, got the cable cleaned up, got the new end soldered on, and yes, I yanked on it with a screwdriver to see if it would come off, and no, it did not, or will not. So it's soldered on there good. I'll go ahead and get my batteries in here, and I'll continue on here with this video. So what I got going on here is I'm making a couple of new battery box hold down bolts with those brackets there to hold the batteries in the box so they don't slide ahead, because all they've got is that plastic valence skirt on the front, and that won't keep the batteries in if something happens. So these are the original battery box bolts, but as you can see, this one's pretty much corroded right through. There's not much left of it, and the other second one is snapped right off. It ate right through. So that one's done. I had made my own homemade one here a few years back, replaced the originals that had a couple that were buggered up then. I made a couple, now I'm going to have to make a couple more, and the originals are done. My own homemade ones. Now you'll ask, how do you go ahead and do that? Well, take something like a broken spring tooth from a hay rake, and it's roughly the right size. It's got the hook on the end, it's roughly the right length, but it's got a little bit too much curve in it. So take and put it on an anvil, bang it a little bit to get it to well, take the curve out of it and put it a little bit straight. I gotta do a little bit more here because I wanted to cut it the length first, so I'll just put it in the vise here, cut it the length, take a couple of 5/16 1.5-inch bolts and cut the hex head off of it, and then I will literally just take and weld this onto that like so. And what I'll have is a new battery box hold down. So I got one cut here, got one cut there. Now I just got to go ahead into my shop here and weld that together and continue on, and then I can get those batteries down, get the new cables on, get some more anti-corrosion stuff on the cable ends, and we'll be good for a couple seasons again. Okay, well, we got the new batteries nestled in there, and got my homemade rods made up there, and got that in place. Went ahead and oiled the bottom of the battery box there, like I say, with some ATF fluid. Yeah, there may be better out there, but that's what I'm using. Is what works. Nothing is a permanent solution. It never is. You're always battling with these kind of things, especially with batteries. But go ahead and get my battery cables hooked up next, and keep on moving along here. Well, all back together. Got my cables all clamped down, and battery holders are tightened down, and everything should be good. Went ahead while I was at it and put new battery nuts, these tall, that's what it had on there, so I just went ahead and got from the same place where I got the new cable end lug from. They had packages of these, so I went ahead and got some those new terminal nuts there to go on there. So got 3 or 4 new ones there. I think one of them was okay yet, and the other 3 were corroded horribly, so I changed them. And I went ahead and sprayed some this is stuff that I use here. It's like a dielectric electric grease. It's a corrosion protection spray. It's called Terminator. Everybody just calls it Terminator, but anyways. So anyways, it's good stuff to use on battery terminals. It keeps the corrosion away. New batteries are generally not the problem. It's these old batteries like this is when things start going wrong, and they start puking and dumping the acid out, and that's what happens. Everything turns into a mucked up mess or whatever. So first couple 3 years is just to clean the battery post a little bit every year and everything's fine, but when they start discharging or sulfating is when the trouble starts with them buggers. So but anyways, we're going to fire this thing up and see here. I had my hood open here in case you're wondering here. I checking the antifreeze and the oil and everything, and just giving it a going over, make sure I got no mouse nests anywheres and anything, because you never know. But it's been sitting for since late last fall, all winter, and this spring. So summertime now, and it's time to get it up and going again. And this tractor's got the Cummins C Series 8.3, or the C 8.3, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So this was this engine, I guess, was a collaboration between Case Cummins or CDC Diesel at the time when they were making them for all these Case IH Ag and Case Construction. There, they pretty much had Cummins motors, and it was Cummins design, I guess, overall. But Case had some sort of a partnership with Cummins at the time there when they were making these engines. So, anyways, that's what this bugger's got in it. So let's see. Initial start. Let's see if we got power. Yep, I think we're good. Go ahead and fire up. There. Now, if you're wondering why my coolant light is on, it's always, they've got a little sensor right at the top of the radiator. When the temperature comes up a little bit, the light goes out. It's just always just below the rad cap, so light always comes on for the first few minutes, and then once it warms up and the antifreeze expands a little bit, then it bring your RPMs up a little bit. Now I'm going to turn my AC on, make sure everything is working. There we go. Starting to blow cold air already. I'll put it on medium. Well, everything's working like it should. Pump up my, I got an air ride seat in here. It's got its own little pump. We've got a button here on underneath the seat here. So I'm not sitting on the floor. Everything seems to be fine. Like I say, AC is working good, which is important. These tractors have like a sealed bubble glass cab there. The side window only opens a little bit, and the back window here only opens a crack, maybe a few inches, that's it. AC has to work in these tractors in the summer, or else you would literally die in here. I don't know, they're designed that the cooling vents for the engine shrouding kind of comes out right here, right in front of the cab. So whatever windows or side windows you open, everything, the heat from the engine bay comes right into the cab. So it's pretty much unbearable if your AC goes out on these. So anyways, well everyone, I think we're going to call this a video. This has gotten long enough already. I'm going to go ahead and let this tractor run a little bit and charge up these new batteries. It never hurts. I'm probably going to go ahead and put a small battery charger maintainer on it for 24 hours. New batteries are new, but they're not always charged right to full capacity, so it's always good to put a charger on them overnight and just you know, let them percolate slowly, and keeps for a healthy battery. So anyways, just like to say thanks everybody for stopping by and checking out another one of my videos, and we'll see you all on the next one. So in the meantime, we're just going to do a parting shot here of the tractor running here